from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Some good news. Back to you, Lucy.
Thanks, Zoya. From Lake Elmo, where you may not know it, but I'm wearing pajama pants.
You're still in your pajamas?
And you're not?
Let's start this next webisode with a weather report.
Weather report? How are you going to do a weather report when this is filmed months before airing?
Because Miss Mastel forced students to capture weather reports in October and November.
Yep. I tried to avoid that hallway after class. Just kidding.
I hope these old weather reports really helped with planning trips and such.
Hey Josh, how's the weather?
Well, it was raining, but you should wear a jacket. It's a little chilly out here.
You might want to bring a jacket.
Snowing. Yeah, it's not even Thanksgiving. Come on, weather. Seriously.
It's snowing!
It's cold!
It's sunny and cold, but can I come in now?
It's really cold. It's super warm.
It's cold?
It's okay. It's nice out.
It's sunny!
It's cold!
Oh, alright.
It's snowing!
It's snowing! It's still snowing.
Miss Mastel, can I come in now?
That was helpful, if not current. Thank you to all the students who helped with the reports.
Next up, we return to MPA records.
Welcome to the MPA Record Channel, sponsored by Frogwater. Every day we have kids trying to claim new MPA records. Today we're with Olive, who's trying to claim the MPA record for the most jump rope jumps. How are you feeling today, Olive?
Good.
And tell us, when did you start jumping?
When I was 4.
Now it's time to start the counter. The record you need to beat is 10 jumps. On your mark, get set, go.
I did 13.
That's a new record, folks. Before we go, I have a small question to ask our record breaker. How does it feel to set a new MPA record, Olive?
It feels really good.
Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time to see our hula hooping record be beaten by Guy.
We now have an interview with several of MPA's virtual learners.
Followed by a behind the screen segment with Miss Wolf.
Hello, I am Annika Binstadt. Today we will be taking a look at what life is like as a fully virtual student at MPA. I met with Zoya Nyack and Isabella Carson, who are both attending fully virtually, and they gave us their thoughts on the experience. MPA has provided students who are wanting an extra layer of protection with a great virtual option, where we can go to school online 5 days a week. People are being projected onto monitors and are heard by the class throughout speakers, and microphones have been installed. It is altogether a good experience. That's not to say there aren't hiccups. There definitely are. But the option has proved very effective and safe, and we enjoy it greatly.
I enjoy spending more time with my family and getting that time in between classes to do homework.
When asked to share some positives about the virtual school experience, people said this. They get more family time, they feel like they get to sleep in more, and they get to wear blankets.
You can keep your family safe and keep yourself safe, and then you sometimes have more free time and you get to sleep in.
Yeah, I definitely like the sleeping in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to know that we're doing something for the safety of it. And my friend and I, who's also virtual, we spend a lot of time between classes doing homework and after school. And it's really nice to have someone like that, especially because we don't get to connect with friends.
When asked about some negatives, Isabella put it very nicely. Sometimes people in person have more to work with than virtual kids. Tech issues are always an issue, and people sometimes feel like you don't get to see your friends or hang out with them as much. Another positive to the virtual experience is we get a really long lunch and recess. In the next segment, you can see what people do during that extra break.
Well, I go talk to my mom pretty much, and sometimes watch TV. That's pretty much it.
I basically just eat a longer lunch, and making lunch obviously takes longer than just grabbing it at school. But sometimes I also get to do homework.
When asked about some of their favorite lunches, Isabella shared that she always has a PB&J, and Zoya normally has leftovers from dinner the night before. Isabella is a new student at MPA this year, meaning she is jumping in headfirst, fully virtual. When asked about some study habits that she can share and that she uses, she said this.
Well, I mostly, if I ever get homework or if I have to study for something, I always study the day that it's assigned, and if it's a test that I have to study for, I study every day until that test.
When you're constantly on a computer, it can be hard to stay in touch with friends. Zoya shared that they like to play a video game called Among Us, and also that they Zoom with friends and do homework with them, which is really fun. They also said it was easier to connect with people that were fully virtual because we have the same breaks. Tech issues are always a problem, constantly. Isabella shared that she forgot she was unmuted once and was singing to the entire Zoom room for a few minutes. On the very first day of school, her Wi-Fi was down and she couldn't connect to her Spanish class.
I do always keep a blanket with me and just keep it below the screen because my room always gets freezing.
Again, Isabella is a new student and has managed to join fully virtual. When asked about the experience, she had this to comment.
I think it would have been easier to join in person, but I just don't want to get sick with COVID, and MPA does have great social distancing and keeping sanitary washing their hands, and I get that, but I just didn't want to get even just a cold, because every year I get pneumonia in the winter at the same time, so it's just always just gotta always keep protected. Yeah.
And do you find that you have connected with your teachers, or has that been harder?
I've connected with my teachers, my orchestra teacher. She always turns the camera to make sure I can see her, but it's kind of a little difficult because I can't have my sound on because of the latency.
Zoya also said it was easier to talk to people who were fully virtual because before and after classes, when the in-person kids were getting to the classroom and getting set up for the class, you could talk to your teachers on Zoom, which has helped them connect with teachers. Students definitely are looking forward to getting back on campus, and these two shared what they were looking forward to most.
What are you guys most either missing about campus or looking forward to when it is safe to return?
I'm pretty much looking forward to get that interaction more with my friends in class, and just being there and having more being more physical with the teacher.
Yeah, I agree. Just connecting with friends, and we don't really realize all the time we get at school, in between classes when we're walking with each other and talking. And also after school sports, those are really fun. And this year I'm not doing basketball because of COVID, and I'm looking forward to that maybe next year.
As you can see, the virtual option has been great. It makes it so that we feel safe, we're stress-free, and we can connect with our families more. People are always trying to help us, and it feels really amazing to know that you are safe at home and that the school still cares about you.
Okay, middle school, you know what I'm about to say, because I say it about 10,000 times a day. You must remain physically distant. Physically distant is not 3 feet, it's not 4 feet, it's not 5 feet, it's 6 feet. And I want you to be distant because I love you. Remember, my jobs are to keep you safe, healthy, and happy. That means stay physically distant. And keep your mask on. Mine's upside down. You know the drill.
Hello, my name is Ellery.
My name is Bella,
And we are BTS.
but not like the singing group. It's an acronym for behind the screen.
BTS is about interviewing teachers on how they make their classes fun as well as educating.
This is Miss Wolf.
Hi, Miss Wolf. How do you help kids on Zoom?
Yeah, I think that it's important to understand where they are coming from, meaning what their situations are, where they are located, what they have access to in terms of technology. I'm lucky enough that English is we do a lot of discussion, and so that does well on Zoom because we don't necessarily need a lot of complicated tools or things like that. We do a lot with what we have, so pencils, paper, books, computers, and I think that's been working pretty well.
Is it hard to keep track of students on Zoom?
It can be. It definitely can be. I think that that some students, when they have their cameras off for whatever reasons, I don't know where they are, or if I ask them a question and they don't answer, that makes me wonder what they're doing or things like that. But I do have some students on Zoom who I can tell are very attentive, are listening, are present. And so it can be hard to keep track of people.
If you ever have trouble preparing a lesson, and if you do, how do you handle it?
Yeah, I think that my biggest point of learning that I've needed to do is adapting my lessons from what they would look like in person versus what they would look like for the few students who are on Zoom. So for me, I think that shows itself a lot in group work. I think I like doing a lot of group work in my classes, and socially distanced and guidelines, of course, for COVID-19. But I think that has been the trickiest part, is being like, okay, how can my students who are on Zoom get a lot out of this lesson that maybe it would be easier to do if they were in person. I think that the way that I handle that, though, is just being prepared and planning. So I make sure that, okay, these students are going to be on Zoom. They're going to need these 3 sheets of paper or these handouts. I'll make sure to send that to them ahead of time. They're going to need this book, email them asking if they have the book, things like that.
Okay. What new methods of teaching are you using due to COVID?
What new methods? Yeah, I think technology programs and things related to technology are definitely new to me. I think that I didn't really use a lot of, apps and websites and things like that before, but now I think that that tech has become a tool that's even more essential now than it was before COVID-19. So that's been helpful most of the time.
And then, is it harder for you to teach during the day if students aren't on campus?
I think so. maybe. I feel like I hesitated because I'm not sure if I feel really strongly about that. I think it's really nice to see their faces, even if it is on Zoom. I think it's a little more helpful when everyone is on Zoom, because then I know automatically, my brain knows right away to categorize it into being like, okay, today is an online lesson, as opposed to the days where I think, okay, today is going to be an in-person and Zoom lesson, things like that. But I think that we've really been getting used to it, and that it's becoming more second nature to us now than it did at the beginning of the year, probably. So.
And then what are the biggest challenges that might not be obvious to everyone?
One part of being a teacher is getting to know your students and knowing what they like, what they loathe, what they're interested in, what makes them tick, what they care about. And I think that that's harder to do now. It's harder to do now, not just with students who are on Zoom, but even students who are in person too. You know, we have to maintain 6 feet apart. I can't do some of the activities and lessons that I normally would do, even in person. And especially for the kids on Zoom, I think I get glimpses of who they are. But I think that is really lost in this situation that our whole world is in right now, is that we lose part of a relationship that is really important. That's beyond just getting grades on an assignment or doing your homework.
Yeah.
Can you please share one joyful or funny moment you've had this semester?
Oh, so many. I think that for me, the thing that comes to mind right away is how creative my students are. I think that they are just hilarious and so creative, and their minds are like little machines working with cool ideas. And so something that comes to mind is definitely related to their writing prompts that they do for journal warm-ups. I sometimes have them do journal warm-ups before class starts. And so the warm-ups are usually open-ended, and they can think of really whatever they want. And so one of them was, what is a, well, I asked them what a made-up word was, and then I made up the word. Yeah, Bella, do you remember what it was?
I think I remember the word. I think it was like orphan belly dorper.
Oh, yes. So I asked them what an orphan belly dopper was and what you do with one. And that was a really fun one. I think that one has stuck out as being one of the more fun ones this semester or this quarter, and that I've enjoyed hearing their answers. So it's hopefully fun for them to write, but it's also fun and for me to listen to.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And that was our last question for the day. So thank you for letting us record you in this interview. And have a great rest of your day. And have a great long weekend.
Thank you guys. This was so fun. It was so nice to talk to you.
Next up, Fantastic Facts. The cast is just terrific. Oh, thank you. Oh, I meant Ethan. Just kidding. You're my favorite co-anchor.
Welcome back to Fantastic Facts. If you're new here, I'm Lucy. I'm Ethan. And this is Fantastic Facts. Every episode, we share facts from 3 different categories: fun facts, historical facts, and good for you facts. Let's get into the facts. Here again? Apparently. I guess we should share our other facts. I'll start. Snakes can predict earthquakes. Heinz ketchup doesn't actually have 57 varieties. The guy who made Heinz just wanted a number in like 57. Huh. I wonder if crows like ketchup. Speaking of crows, did you know that crows can hold grudges against specific people? I'm hungry. I don't even like ketchup. Tootsie Pops take anywhere from 252 licks to 411 to get to the center. Well, movie trailers were originally shown after the movie. That's why they're called trailers. Whoa. If you want to see something after it's made, use the Wayback Machine. It's an internet archive that can show you whatever you want. You can go back to Vine. Approximately 10 to 20% of U.S. power outages are caused by squirrels. How interesting. Not this again. Time for our historical facts, I guess. Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunnies. Alexander the Great was buried alive. Accidentally. He wasn't actually dead when he was pronounced dead. The saying, fly off the handle, originates from the 1800s. All British cakes have things to make tea in them because tea is greater than keeping a country alive. I love tea. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was never straight to begin with. We should share our good-for-you facts. Yep. Alright. Bananas are curved because they grow towards the sun. A group of pugs is called a grumble. Pugs are pog. A group of kittens is called a kindle. Octopuses actually make gardens. They take shiny things and put them in the sand. A cat version of the corgi exists, the Munchkin cat. Mr. Rogers got to pour the 1 billionth Crayola crayon. 2. He had a wonderful life. Thanks for tuning in to the second episode of Fantastic Facts.
We return to middle school memories, this week with Ryan.
And then another familiar face returns to MPA. Last week, Miss Mara said hello. Who will it be this week?
Hello, this is Tallulah.
And Marcel.
And we are both in the 6th grade. Today we are going to interview upper schoolers about their middle school memories.
Starting off, we have Ryan Goach. He's a senior here at MPA.
He wants to go to college to study theater and debate.
Let's hear what Ryan has to say.
What was your favorite year of middle school and why?
My favorite year of middle school was...
it might be too hard for us.
That's a difficult one. I would say 6th grade, because it's in that period where you're not a 5th grader, but you still don't have the responsibilities of a 7th or 8th grader, so you kind of just get to have fun.
Okay, our next question is, what was your favorite middle school memory and why?
My favorite middle school memory was in 8th grade. I was a big quiz bowl kid along with Isaac Dye and Hannah Miller. And so in 8th grade, we qualified for the middle school national tournament. And we went, and we were really confident that we would do well. In 7th grade, we placed 7th. So we're we can do better than that this year. And then we got to that middle school tournament and we got 2nd and we got to play, well, okay, that wasn't the fun part, but the fun part was playing in the final round where we got to be in front of everybody and it was televised and we were all with our big buzzers in the big auditorium. And then it was best of 3. So we had to win 2 of the games to win and we won the first one. But then the other team won the second too, so it ended up not mattering, and we got 2nd, but still, it was really fun.
Okay, the next question is, if you could go back to middle school, what would you do?
I would have done the middle school show in 8th grade. I would have done Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, because I didn't do it to do soccer, but soccer wasn't that fun, so I wish I had done the middle school show.
Okay, our next question is, what is some good advice for middle school?
Good advice for middle schoolers is don't take yourself too seriously. I remember in middle school, I was so obsessed with being cool and mature. And then I realized oh, I'm in 6th grade. I look really funny doing this. And I was so as long as you just understand that middle school is a really transitional time in your life and that it's okay not to have everything figured out, or it's okay not to know exactly what you want to do in life, or you don't have to feel you are you're trying to be someone you're not. I remember in middle school I was oh, I have to be cool the high schoolers, and then I remembered oh, being cool the high schoolers is because they're in high school, not because you're in middle school. And I think if you let go of that and just let yourself enjoy the comparatively stress-free life of a middle schooler, you'll have way more fun.
Aloha! Hi, Mounds Park Academy. It's Mrs. Moore here, all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii. Hello! I miss Mounds Park so much. Every day I think about that school and what you're doing over there and seeing all the fabulous things. I follow all the social media. And I'm so excited that you're continuing on in the theater department. It sounds like you do some incredible shows. My favorite memories take place in that black box and on the stage doing all of the amazing musicals and rehearsing for winter show and the middle school productions. I really, really miss that fabulous classroom where I had the big round rug and all the shapes on it, and we would all do, hey, ole ole, a tiki tiki tumba. A musa, musa, musa. I know, right? I'll never forget it. Playing all of those creative drama games and getting to know all of you students who aren't so itty bitty anymore. Gosh, you're like young adults moving on with your life in the next few years. It's just incredible. These days I teach at a really big K-12 school called Punahou, and there's almost 4,000 students. And I will say that some days it can be really hard when there was such a unique almost small town feel to being at MPA. I really miss the special connection with all of the teachers and all of you students and your families. I don't have that as much, and I miss it. So please don't ever, ever, ever take that for granted, because it really is unique to MPA. It's really special. I'm sending all my love. I'm sending lots of warmth as you're hitting winter. I've still got 80 degrees here. I'm actually standing at my condo. We have a pool. Check out my pool. It's kind of fancy, but it's about sunset here and the weather's just perfect. So if you find yourself in Hawaii, please do look me up. Best wishes on all of your theatrical endeavors. Keep it up, because the arts are so, so important. Mwah! Mahalo!
We have our own version of the Kardashians meeting the Real Housewives in an original sketch. Here is the break room.
Hello? How's everyone's day?
What are we supposed to be doing?
Wow, Cole, you really care about this class, don't you?
Nope. We're supposed to be answering the questions she posted?
Oh, so you're siding with him?
No, I don't think.
I don't want your excuses, Theo.
Can you all please be quiet? I don't know about you, but I'm trying to complete this assignment.
Yeah, exactly. Supposed to be working as a group?
Yeah, Hannah, I thought we were supposed to be working as a group.
Well, this group isn't exactly functional.
Oh, is there something funny you guys want to share with the group?
Why do you care?
Yeah, Sadie, you're acting like the teacher. I mean, it's kind of obvious why.
What are you trying to say?
You really want me to tell you? Okay, you're jealous of the texting because you're obviously in love with Cole.
That is so not true. I hate Cole. Hannah is the one who has a crush on him.
What? You have no proof.
There's one imposter among us.
Shut up, Cole.
See, she likes you because she teases you.
No, I tease him because he says stupid things.
Maybe everyone should just take a breath? Nah, this is entertaining.
Yeah, Sadie's broken heart is very entertaining.
My heart is fully intact.
This is not what it looks like. Okay, alright. I'm sorry. I should never brought it up in the first place. Can we please just keep working? What are you doing?
I was just about to submit my thing on Schoology and I accidentally closed the tab. Now I have to do it all over again.
Sadie, there are people who have no internet.
Once I paired with this group. The breakout rooms will be closing in 60 seconds! Thank God. Well, we'll probably never get paired together again, so I might as well shoot my shot while we're still in here. I do like one of you. Oh God.
Well?
Are you going to tell us?
Hurry up, Cole. They're dying.
Cole, you have 45 seconds to make the most important confession of your life.
Yeah, I want to know.
Jeez, can you calm down? Okay. I can't say it. What if you don't like me back?
Cole, are you dumb? We're both in love with you.
What?
Wait, I thought one of you guys hated me.
Yeah, I hate.
You have 30 seconds.
I should have got myself some popcorn for this. Well, I guess I have 100% chance of success. I like Hannah.
This is so unfair. I hope you're happy, Hannah.
Actually, I'm really not, since, I have no feelings for Cole whatsoever.
What?
Sorry.
Audacity.
Yikes, someone just got friend-zoned.
Well, you can't exactly expect me to read his mind.
I could read his mind. Cole and I have a connection you will never have.
What?
I don't expect you to understand. Come on, Theo. Let's return to the main session.
Look, it's just getting good. For you, maybe. I'm leaving. Everyone here sucks.
Bro, can you see why I don't like you?
Goodbye, breakout room. You've been a place of joy, sorrows, triumph, and heartbreak.
And it ended.
Wow, that has never happened in any of my break rooms. Zoya? I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Moving on, we have our next set of shoutouts, followed by more 60-second interviews. This week, Mr. Becker, Miss Mercer, and Miss Lasone all try to answer life's questions in just 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Geneva Sanders, and I want to give a shout out to Mr. Cunningham. He's a really good social studies teacher. He's really supportive, and he's a really good teacher, and he always cheers me up. And I really look forward to his class, and I think that he's a really good teacher.
Hi, I would like to give a shout out to Miss Milam and all the staff working at MPA, because I know they put a lot of effort into making MPA a safe environment and so that we can come back to school. Thank you.
Shout out to Miss Nagel for being the best teacher ever and understanding me.
And I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Ethier for sharing all of his wisdom with me. Thanks.
Hello, I would like to give a shout out to Zoya and Nyack. They're always there for me, and even when I'm having a bad day, they can always make me laugh and make me feel better. It's really great to have them as a friend, and I am very grateful for them.
Hi everyone, I want to thank Miss Mestel first for coming up with this really great idea. Her and her thespians are going to put together a great program for all of us to enjoy. I want to thank Vern and Pat and Tom and John for always being so cheerful when I see them in the hallway and for making my office just a nicer place to be. Thank you so much for Tammy Fisher, who's working so hard in the 2nd grade. It's her first time working at MPA, and she's just really killing it. I want to thank the lower school teachers for being a real inspiration to me. I see that they are working really hard, and they're making a great difference in our children's lives. And really a big shout out to Mrs. Stinson. Thank you so much for being so important to my Charlie and for all of the hard work that you're doing.
Hi, I wanted to shout out Miss Maris for being one of the most kind and supportive teachers I've ever had. And she was really nice, and I miss her a lot ever since she left MPA. So, thank you.
Just a quick shout out to all of my upper school faculty colleagues and staff colleagues, as well as all of the upper school students. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for being awesome.
Hi, I'm Taya.
And I'm Ellery.
And welcome to 60-second interviews.
Today we will be interviewing Mr. Becker. He is the International Student Program Coordinator,
Advanced Language and Cultural Class Teacher.
We'll be trying to ask him as many questions as we can within 60 seconds.
Now give it up for Mr. Becker.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, favorite food? Korean barbecue.
What is your least favorite food?
Mushrooms.
If you could choose your age forever, what age would you choose and why?
22.
Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Cats.
If you could visit any place, where would it be?
Europe. Somewhere in Europe.
What is your biggest fear?
Open heights.
How long have you been teaching?
About 9 years.
What is your favorite animal?
Fish.
Do you have a nickname?
I do not.
What are some of your favorite hobbies?
Playing and watching sports, listening to music, and being outside.
All right, that's 60 seconds.
Next, we'll be interviewing Miss Mercer,
who is a professional artist and a lower school art teacher.
And in addition to that, this year she'll be teaching 6th grade in the spring.
Let's get into the interview. What is your favorite food and what is your least favorite food?
When I was a kid, I told my mom that I wouldn't go to heaven if there wasn't mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna say mashed potatoes was the favorite, and I forgot the second part. I got so excited about mashed potatoes.
Your least favorite food.
Oh, least favorite food. Like cooked steamed greens, like collard greens. Gross.
If you could choose your age forever, what age would you choose and why?
Well, I feel like I would choose an age maybe I hadn't gotten to yet. So maybe late 30s or early 40s. So maybe like 38. I'm not there yet, but I feel like that's going to be a good year.
Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Oh, for sure dogs.
If you could visit any place, where would it be?
Oh, this is a hard one, you guys. I know you said make them fast. I know. I'd probably go to Morocco. That would be my first next pick.
What is your biggest fear?
Man, I think not having an impact in the world or not having an influence.
How long have you been teaching?
Oh man, I almost fit another one in there, Miss Mastel.
You got through a lot. I think you got through like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Boom!
Wow, good job. Today we're interviewing Miss Lasone.
Miss Lasone is the middle school assistant director.
Now let's get into the interview. What would you do with your 15 minutes of fame?
I try to help other people with my 15 minutes of fame. Do what I can for various charities or whatever I feel very excited about.
What book did you read that changed your life the most?
Oh my gosh, I read so much all the time. I always have at least one book with me. I don't really know that question. Oh, that's a tough one. Can we go to the next one?
Yes.
I don't know.
Which actor would you want to play you in a movie about your life?
What? These are horribly hard questions. Oh, I need someone who's funny, falls down a lot, says ridiculous things, and does TikTok dances. Oh, what about that girl from Pitch Perfect? We don't look anything alike, but Rebel Wilson, she's funny.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I know her.
Yeah, she's funny and she laughs a lot and she seems like she just falls down. So I do that.
We return to Quarantine Classics.
Hello, and welcome back to Quarantine Classics. I'm joined here with some of my partners.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here with you.
Hello. Today we will be discussing the positive of COVID-19 through hobbies.
Let's Let's begin with talking about hobbies people have learned during quarantine. During these weeks of social isolation, people have found creative ways to play and share music with one another. Groups of friends have formed musical-like book clubs where they share albums. Also, people have been using remote recording collaboration apps for music together. At MPA, there are some teachers taking on challenges. For example, Miss Joyce, a middle school tech teacher, has learned how to play the ukulele. Here's a short video of her playing.
One of my favorite songs I learned in quarantine has the best message ever. Bob Marley, Three Little Birds. Here we go. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Thank you so much for watching Quarantine Classics, and I hope to see you next time. Bye! Next, two of my favorite things, do-it-yourself, where we learn some origami, and more book blurbs from students and faculty.
Hi, my name's Harper. Hi, my name's Ellie. And this is DIY. What are we making today, Harper? Today, we will be making an origami butterfly. I hope it flies. Then let's get folding. Today you will need a square piece of paper and your fingers. First, fold your piece of paper diagonally. And crease. Unfold that and fold it diagonally, but when you fold it diagonally the other way. Make sure you crease it, and make sure you crease it really hard. Unfold that and fold it horizontally. And crease that too. Unfold that and fold it vertically. And crease that too. Now unfold that and find your horizontal and vertical lines and push them all into the back center, and it should crease me like this. So you did it right, you should see that your vertical lines are peering out. And that's how you know you did that part. Now you're going to fold that into a triangle and turn that triangle upside down. As you notice, there is 2 pieces of paper on each side. So you are going to take the top side and fold that down, but you don't want to fold it exactly on the line because it's a wing, so we don't need it exactly on the line. Next, you're going to take your back side and you are going to fold it over, and then you're going to fold it in half. And then you have made your origami butterfly. Congratulations. Wow, what an awesome creation. Darn. It doesn't fly, silly. Oh well, it's still super cool. Okay, now please take a picture of your origami butterfly and send it to msplay@moundsparkacademy.org. Have a lovely day and make sure to keep watching Some Good News. Bye!
Hola! I am currently reading Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This book is about a dystopian future where all the world is virtual. Everything, going to the beach, going to the park, going to the zoo, everything is virtual. And it's about a teenager that goes into an online contest to win lots of money, to win the fortune of the creator of this virtual world that passed away. I'm really enjoying it because it has a lot of 80s references, and I love anything 80s from American culture. The clothes, the movies, the music, the games, and the virtual world and life that's shown in the book makes me think about if you're heading into that direction, which I don't care much for, but it's fun to read all the 80s references. Gracias.
I am reading What I Leave Behind by Allison McGee, who is a local author. What I Leave Behind is amazing because here's its biggest selling point. The story is awesome, the voices are great, the character's awesome, love it all, right? The fascinating thing comes at the very end in the notes. When it pulls your attention to the fact that every page, the book is 100 pages long, every page only has 100 words, and it all connects to this 100-drawer card catalog that's in the store with all these cool things in it. It is awesome, and then when you look back on the pages, they're so cool because they only have 100 words, and yet beautifully written, lovely, heart-wrenching story, very fast read. Would wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone.
Hi, 7th grade. This is Miss Buck, and I want to recommend the book of poems by Mary Oliver called Redbird. And this book of poetry is beautiful, and it's all about birds and what we see out our window and nature and her love of it and observation of it every day. So I recommend Redbird.
Hi, I'm Hayden Pedpiece, and I'm doing my book blurb on a book called Zenobia July by Lisa Bunker. I read it this summer, and it's about this transgender girl who has to try to go to school, and it's told in a different perspective. I learned something new when I read it, and it was very moving to me to hear a different perspective of someone that's not me, and it was just kind of interesting to hear a whole different perspective of the world in a different eyesight.
All right, so I heard from Reginald that math wasn't fun, and we all know that's not true because math is fun anytime, especially at recess. Listen to them.
Math is fun!
Now for a special report. We invited first grader Eloise to join our team as a cub reporter. Eloise and Peyton interviewed Mr. Marlum about Mushu the bearded dragon.
Hi, I'm Peyton Pettipiece, and I did an interview with Eloise Cohen on Mushu with Mr. Marlum, and there are some interesting facts in there that I bet you didn't know.
What is Mushu's brief background, like age, animal, etc.?
Okay, so he's a bearded dragon, and we got him last year. He's a little bit over a year old. When we first got him, we could just hold him in our hand. Tail and all, he would be in our hand. He was so small. And now look how big he is after a full year. So we've had him for a little bit over a year. Last year, my 7th graders really wanted a classroom pet, and I said, okay. And I did some research, and I'd never really had a bearded dragon before. And it turns out these are great classroom pets, and they are. Mushu is, he's a lot of fun. He's a great can hold him and mellow and happy.
How did Mushu become a pet at MPA?
Well, like I said, the 7th graders really wanted a classroom pet, and so we did some research, and I wrote a grant. And with that grant money, I was able to get a bearded dragon and a tank and all kinds of stuff. So that's how it all started.
I'll be doing the next two.
Okay.
How did Mushu get his name?
Oh, we voted on his name. The 7th and 8th graders last year voted on his name. And the winning name by one vote was Mushu, but at the time we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. You have to wait about a year before you know what the gender is, and we know that he's a male now, so.
I would have voted Mushu too.
Oh, good. I can't imagine him being anything other than Mushu now.
What's Mushu's favorite food?
Oh, he loves crickets and he loves worms. He also eats vegetables. He likes, we make sure that he eats his lettuce, and sometimes he'll eat carrots. And he likes fruit like berries and that kind of a thing. But crickets, that's what he loves. He loves crickets, and that's what he gets almost every day. And then a special treat, sometimes we'll get him some worms.
What learning opportunities does Mushu provide?
So what we did in the beginning when he was first growing, we would weigh him and we would measure him every other day. And so we collected data and we graphed that data. So we were able to do some science data collection. And of course, we did a lot of research on the bearded dragon and how do you care for the bearded dragon, and what kind of habitat would be good for him. So he's originally from Australia. And so bearded dragons came from Australia. And so they like it really deserty, hot and dry. So we have to make sure that his habitat is like that.
What is the best thing that Mushu's done?
What's the best thing that he's done is he's become the mascot for the middle school. Everybody loves Mushu. And because he's so friendly, everybody comes and sees him. And so it's really brought all the students together and made us one big happy community where we all agree that Mushu is pretty cool. And so I'd say that's the best thing. He's become the middle school mascot. Everybody loves Mushu.
What things do you need to do to take care of Mushu?
Oh my gosh, we have to clean his habitat. He's got a big 55-gallon tank, and we have to clean that out about every 2 weeks. We have to feed him every day, and then over the weekend, we have to make sure he's been fed so he can be alone on Saturdays and Sundays. We also have a heat lamp for him because remember, he's got to have it nice and hot and humid, and so we've got a nice big heat lamp that helps him with that. And we give him water, although most of his water, like we drink water, he doesn't really drink water. Most of his water and moisture comes from the food that he eats, especially those vegetables.
Would you say Mushu's a distraction?
I would tell you that sometimes he can be, for sure. Now, I allow my students to hold Mushu in class, and sometimes he can be a distraction then. And I'll tell you a funny story. Hopefully I can tell you this. He also will poop, and we don't know when it's going to happen. He doesn't tell us. And so sometimes while we're holding him, or sometimes in the middle of class while students are holding him, he'll actually poop either on them or on their desk. And sometimes that can be distracting.
How did you get Mushu?
So Mushu came from PetSmart, just right up the street from the school here. And again, that grant that we wrote, it was actually through PetSmart. And so we got his habitat and we got Mushu. Mushu is actually a fancy bearded dragon, so he has really special colors on him. I don't know, you can't really tell, but he's got some oranges that go through here. So we were able to afford to get a really nice fancy bearded dragon and his habitat and some of his food. And so we got a good start. We got a good start with that grant money, and that was all done through PetSmart.
What is the longest time you have been away from Mushu?
Oh gosh, probably just 2, maybe 3 days. If it's any longer than that, we bring Mushu home so that he comes home to the Milums, and we take care of him and we keep him at home.
How does Mushu prepare for winter?
Oh, you know what he does during the winter? Sometimes he'll hibernate and he'll go to sleep for maybe 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks at a time. And he doesn't wake up to eat. He doesn't wake up for anything. He's got a cave in his habitat. He goes in his cave and he just kind of falls asleep and he doesn't wake up for weeks. Other than that, he doesn't know it's winter, even though it's snowing right outside of his cage. He's inside that nice warm cage with that heat lamp. So he doesn't know that it's winter, other than it might be snowing outside.
How does he know to hibernate? Like when to hibernate?
I don't know why. I don't know how he knows, but he knows, because usually that happens in the fall, right around this time. And so his body must tell him. Maybe sometimes animals know by the amount of sun that's out there. And you know how it's getting darker now and it stays darker in the morning. His body probably senses that. He knows that it's fall, winter, and it's time to kind of take a break, take a rest. I will tell you, you asked about winter. I should tell you this. He is cold-blooded. So whatever the temperature of the room is, that's the temperature of his body. And sometimes if the room gets cold, he gets cold. And you can feel it when you hold him. His belly is cold and he doesn't move very fast. He's real slow. And so he has to be warm in order to really move around quickly and be alert. When he's cold, you'll know he's cold because he doesn't move very much and he feels cold. He feels cold.
Part 2 of our Mushu story will be next week. Thank you for letting us make your day a little better.
See you next time on Some Good News.
Okay, you ready? Here we go. Shoulder, shoulder up. Swivel your hips. Shoulder, shoulder up. Swivel your hips. Double, double up. Swivel your hips.